When I unlocked the front door, the sight of unfamiliar underwear scattered across the polished floor stopped me cold. Chloe was meticulous, a person who never left so much as a sock out of place. I let out a silent sigh and began to move through the entryway, picking up each piece of lingerie. I folded them with a calm I didn't feel and placed the neat pile on the arm of the sofa. In the kitchen, I put the kettle on for a cup of chrysanthemum tea. The quiet hum of the appliance a stark contrast to the muffled sounds coming from our bedroom. My mind felt adrift as I did the mental calculation. 6 years. We had been married for 6 years, not even making it to the notorious 7-year itch. What a shame. On a strange impulse, I brewed a second cup, this one with goji berries for Chloe, and left a note on the counter. "I'm going to Maya's. Don't worry about me." It was 3 in the morning when I pulled up to Maya's villa. Calling her was usually a fruitless endeavor, as she rarely answered her phone. I could have easily booked a hotel room for the night, but for some reason, I felt a pull to talk to her, even if it meant enduring her inevitable teasing. On the 12th ring, she finally picked up. Her voice, husky with sleep, had grown more womanly over the years. A few words were all I needed. "I have nowhere else to go. I'm outside your villa. Can you open the door?" She was silent for a few seconds before the line went dead. I sighed, opening my car door and preparing to leave. But then the villa gate beeped and swung open automatically. A text message lit up my phone screen. "Come in. Make sure you close the door." A small chuckle escaped me. I locked the car and walked inside. She was leaning against the doorframe in her pajamas, watching me wash my face in her guest bathroom with an unusually grumpy expression. "Didn't I tell you not to come running to me every time you and Chloe have a fight?" I finished rinsing my face and pushed past her to grab some skincare products from her bedroom vanity. "Wow, these are pricey," I commented, examining the luxurious set. "Even I wouldn't splurge on this." "Don't change the subject," she shot back. "Chloe brought a man home. Things were getting heated when I walked in," I said with a slight smile, watching her reaction. Her brows furrowed in a tight line, as if it were her own spouse who had been unfaithful. After a long, thoughtful pause, she asked, "Want a few drinks?" I shook my head. "I just wrapped a show and have a 10-day break. I need to stay in shape. I don't want bad skin messing up my next project." She stared at me for what felt like a solid 3 minutes before walking to the kitchen to pour me a glass of plain water. "Man," I laughed. "I almost forgot those days when we drank water to stave off hunger in that cheap apartment. Ha! Feels like a lifetime ago." She joined me on the sofa, dimming the lights. "Yeah, you couldn't sleep because you were hungry. You kept saying you wanted pig trotters. We were so broke." "The next day, you sold your old Nokia for $50 to buy me a bowl of pig trotter rice," I remembered. "I ate the trotters, and you had the rice." We locked eyes, and a comfortable silence fell between us. It had been years since we had talked about those dark times. After a while, Maya spoke up, her voice serious. "Liam, just get a divorce." My heart sank a little. I've said it before, unless Chloe asks for a divorce, I never will. 10 years ago, I entered a televised singing competition. My clear voice and agreeable looks caught the eye of one of Chloe's assistants, which led to a meeting with Chloe herself. That year, she had just established her presence in the entertainment world. She wasn't fond of the flashy, established artists, preferring to discover and nurture raw talent personally. I fit her vision perfectly. At the time, I was 20 years old, handsome, a bit rough around the edges, and visibly nervous. Chloe was 28, classy, and possessed a remarkable charisma. Her first question to me was, "Why do you want to be an artist?" I answered without a moment's hesitation, "I want to make money, loads of it." She looked at me and laughed. I've heard many reasons today, but you are the only one who's been honest. I was curious back then. Didn't everyone want to make money? Chloe was my savior. From the day I met her, she completely changed my destiny. I became her artist, and she spared no expense in promoting me, assembling a top-notch team and securing the best resources. In just 1 year, I landed a supporting male role in a major film. The following year, I gained some fame. She still personally selected scripts for me. "Liam, cherish your reputation," she'd say. "You'll only meet one Chloe in your life." She loved to joke with me, telling me she liked making me laugh because my smile was beautiful, just like her brother's, who had passed away. Yes, we were close. I shared my entire life story with her, how Maya and I had fled from the countryside to the city at 16, like we were running for our lives. We had no parents, like ghosts wandering the streets, surviving on under-the-table jobs until we turned 18. I told her all of this with a smile, and she listened with a straight, serious face. Not that I blamed her. Women like her, wealthy and beautiful, often cultivated a serious look and minimal expression, which gave them an air of sophistication. Maya initially thrived from my success, working hard and content as my assistant. Later, a rival entertainment company, run by a woman named Diana, negotiated with Chloe and took a liking to Maya, leading her to join them. We had an unspoken agreement from our earliest days to prioritize our futures over feelings. At 16, while handing out flyers at a bar, we had seen too much drama between men and women. One night, after helping a half-drunk man, we sat for hours on a curb as he dispensed his wisdom. "Kids," he said, "remember this. Wise people don't fall in love. Fools choose to fall willingly." We remembered those words well. Maya had a tougher journey in the entertainment industry than I did. I had Chloe as my support. She had only herself to rely on as she climbed the ladder, step by step. I'll always remember the day Chloe, after hearing my story, gently pushed my bangs aside, held me close, and said, "Liam, you've really had a hard life." As for Chloe, all I knew was that she was an only child who had been quite rebellious when she was young, cutting ties with her family to carve her own path in the business world. She eventually founded her own entertainment company, climbing to her current position. She told me about falling out with her family, too. Her brother, Noah, had fallen in love with someone her parents disapproved of. After a long, painful struggle, he took his own life. I've benefited, in some way, from her memory of her brother, because Chloe once said that my facial features resembled his. The next day, I woke up in Maya's large, comfortable bed. She had already gone to work. Tonight was her awards ceremony, and she had a company lunch at noon. She left me a series of notes on sticky paper. After I got up, washed my face, and finished the breakfast Maya had made for me, Chloe called. "Where are you? Are you free for lunch? Let's eat together." She named the restaurant in the complex where I had proposed to her. That place was her territory. The year it was completed, she had me propose to her there, announcing that the entire building was a gift for me. I have no family, and the gesture, though extravagant, was incredibly thoughtful. I'm grateful for it to this day. I got there on time, and the receptionist asked for my autograph, as she often did. This time, the reason was, "My uncle really likes you, Liam. Could you sign this for him?" My writing flowed smoothly across the page, and it was hard to tell that I used to write like a child in grade school. Honestly, I owed that improvement to Chloe as well. After I got famous, she encouraged me to study. "Education can be seen as important or not important," she said. "It could be the icing on the cake or the light in the dark, depending on how you choose to see it. Keep studying. It'll come in handy someday." So I acted and studied at the same time and eventually got into film school. Once we were seated, Chloe got straight to the point about the previous night. "I'm sorry, Liam." I don't blame you, I replied. She frowned slightly. Yeah, I should have given you a heads up that I was coming back. Then it wouldn't have been so awkward. I forced a smile and reached for some food. Maybe she had rehearsed this conversation, or maybe she thought I would ask about the man, how long she'd known him, if he was as handsome as me, questions like that. But what she didn't know was that 2 years ago, when she started cheating frequently, I already knew. The thrill was gone for her. Just as Maya won her first Best Actress award, she threw a stack of newspapers featuring Chloe's nightly escapades onto my desk. I crumpled them up. Maya, focus on your career. Don't bother with this unnecessary stuff. She snapped. Liam, you're such a pushover. I was indifferent. Chloe was different from the average person. Besides, it had already been 4 years of this. It was quite a lasting affair. Maya scoffed at my vague tone. Now at the restaurant, Chloe watched me with a complex expression, observing me eat bite after bite. Suddenly, she grew impatient. Liam, you never really loved me, did you? I calmly put down my chopsticks. She'd asked me this several times before. Chloe, I love you, and I respect you. But more than love, I'm grateful to you. She once said she liked my honesty. She smoked one cigarette after another and finally made her decision. Liam, let's get divorced. It only took me 5 minutes to agree. Okay? In those 5 minutes, I thought about many things. I remembered Chloe gently taking off my clothes in a cramped dressing room. At that time, she didn't ask if I loved her. She just quietly asked, "Can we?" I remembered standing under the spotlight being interviewed while she sat confidently in the front row, arms crossed, smiling at me. She proudly announced to the world, "Look, I made this boyfriend. Isn't he great?" I remembered our grand wedding, the countless luxurious fireworks exploding in the sky. I remembered her saying, "Liam, I have a wish. I hope you love me a little more each day. Just a little. If you do that, day by day, month by month, year by year, then Liam will always love Chloe." Honestly, Chloe never owed me anything. If anything, I owed her quite a lot. The downtown apartment where you've been living, plus the villa near the movie studio, they're yours, she said unemotionally. Professionals will help you with the funds and stocks. Regarding the talent agency, I've already talked to them. If it's not enough— Chloe, it's enough, I interrupted. I don't need anything. Before we got married, her family insisted we sign a prenuptial agreement. Whether I divorced Chloe or she divorced me, I wouldn't get a single cent. It made sense, considering Chloe was the sole heir to a massive fortune. They weren't just going to give it all away to an actor like me. Anyone else would have never signed such a humiliating agreement. But under Chloe's hesitant gaze, I picked up the pen and carefully wrote my name, Liam. A month later, Maya saw the news of my divorce from Chloe on social media. She quietly glanced at me from across the table where we were eating hot pot, then put down her phone softly and placed some beef in my bowl. When her phone rang with Ethan's name on the screen, she wouldn't answer. If she wasn't annoyed, I sure was. Maya, can you please change your ringtone? At this rate, I might start hating my own hit song, I suggested. If you really don't like it, just block him, she retorted. I can't do that. His dad paid for him to play the lead in a movie, and we have business connections. Deleting him and then adding him back would be embarrassing. I quickly responded, then don't delete him. Making money is important. Making money is important. On the coldest day of the year, which happened to be my birthday, my agent called with fantastic news. I got the lead role in a major new series. I was overjoyed. There were many competitors for this role, and many were more promising, especially the new, young, handsome actors. My agent said I was specifically chosen for the part. The reason was obvious. Maya smeared cake on my face. Liam, Happy birthday! I hung up on my agent, grabbed Maya, and rubbed my face all over her expensive clothes. She has this weird quirk. Back when we were practically begging on the streets, Maya wouldn't pass up leftover food from a trash can. Now that she's a top actress, she suddenly has a severe cleanliness obsession. She cried out in anguish, "Liam!" Maya says once you hit 30, you have to start being good and accumulating virtue. But someone like me, who never does good or bad, even the underworld judge wouldn't know how to handle me. Either be a saint or go all out rogue. For my 30th birthday, besides a role that was a strong contender for Best Actor, I got another unexpected gift. Someone spread a rumor that the reason Chloe and I divorced was because I had cheated, starting a whirlwind of chaos. My agent ran around trying to smooth things over, but in the end, it was Chloe who resolved it by holding a press conference. Maya was doing a face mask and said in a weird, muffled voice, "People have got to start being good at 30. I threw a pillow in her direction out of frustration. Later, the rumors escalated. My agency turned a blind eye. With Ethan's generous dad, they could always throw money at any project Maya was involved in. Once I was having a drink with Maya and we got spotted by paparazzi. We ended up trending. The funny thing is, Maya and I hang out all the time with no drama. Why were the paparazzi suddenly all over us? Maya hit the nail on the head. Chloe's got all kinds of connections. To her, this is a piece of cake. It was true. She could turn two slum dwellers like us into polished stars. There was no impossible feat for Chloe. The gossip then turned into Maya two-timing, and then to her stealing Chloe's man. That really ticked me off. When I won Best Actor, Maya did something rare and gifted me a 7-figure piece of jewelry. "Are you nuts? You can't just burn money like that," I said, stunned. She looked at the brooch in my hand indifferently. "I did an endorsement for this jewelry brand one night, got paid, and then spent the payment on this. Come to think of it, it's quite a rip-off. We call those luxury events smile and sell gigs." I was gobsmacked. "The legendary top seller, was it?" She rested her chin on her palm, looking relaxed, her face so striking it could rival any woman's. "Return it if you don't want it." But even as she said it, she stood up, took the brooch, and pinned it on my jacket from behind. The window reflected our silhouettes, and I saw a bright smile form on Maya's lips. Just then, Ethan called her. "Did you give Liam that limited edition brooch?" he wailed. She stayed quiet. "How am I worse than Liam, that old guy?" "Dude, did I ask you to pay for it? Chill out. I'm your boyfriend. You're embarrassing me in front of people." Maya sighed. "Ethan, for the last time, stop making up those fake couple campaigns. You keep doing this, and even you'll start believing it." "What's your deal, Maya? You jerk!" he yelled back. Yes, Maya's a jerk. The brooch was stunning, so beautiful it made me tremble. Such amazing things can be terrifying to lose. I carefully put it back in its expensive box. "Take it back. I, an old man, don't deserve something so good." "Other than that, give me another reason," she challenged. She pondered for a moment and said, "Diana mentioned that the recent rumors are tarnishing your reputation and need to be dealt with." I looked at her, waiting for her to continue. "If I wasn't really into you," she explained, "she'd start a massive cleanup campaign and turn things around completely." I wanted to know how. "Just say we're sworn siblings and maybe work out a deal with Ethan's team. Act lovey-dovey for a bit. It could clear our names." The plan was clear. Stop the rumors about her stealing Chloe's man, or me being dumped for cheating. Diana gave me 3 days. "So what are you waiting for?" she asked. "Losing your image isn't a joke." She looked at me with a goofy smile. "Right. 20 years of poverty haven't taught me better." On the day of the awards, Chloe was there, sitting right in the spotlight, directly blocking Maya's view. With all these rumors about me and Maya flying around, She didn't lift a finger to clarify. Back when we were married, this wouldn't have even caused a ripple. But then again, now that we were divorced, was it worth the hassle for her? Her new boyfriend, Leo, was a shiny new star, young and handsome. "He looks a bit like you when you were younger," Maya commented. That was Chloe's charm. Even when the agency wanted to change my name, she stood by me, saying, "You're perfect the way you are. Remain Liam with me." "After all these years, maybe I owe Chloe a thank you," Maya added. "Well, she did cheat and asked for the divorce herself. Thanking her would seem crazy, wouldn't it?" Chloe kept looking at me with a hint of nostalgia. I gave her a light, polite smile, the same one I had given her many times over the years. The award presenter, after the ceremony, randomly asked, "Maya's with Ethan now. As her longtime friend, do you have any words for her?" I held the microphone, smiling in an official yet fake way. Maya always said my smile lacked sincerity and skill, and it looked entirely unconvincing. But sometimes emotions really do mess with your performance. Hopefully she could see through it, but chose not to say anything. I wished her happiness. The host pressed, "Nothing else to add?" I shook my head. Everything between us was unspoken. The audience erupted in thunderous applause. My assistant gave me a thumbs up from the audience. After the event, Chloe ditched her new boyfriend to have a private chat with me. "You did well this time," she said. "I'm someone who values my image, so even if we aren't together, I still wouldn't want you with Maya." Honestly, she could have handled the rumors herself, but she probably wanted to see how Maya and I would react. I jokingly said, "Then you shouldn't have divorced me, Chloe. Now nobody wants me." She tossed her cigarette to the ground and crushed it with her heel. "What I mean is, it's fine for you to be with anyone but Maya." It was late, and a cold wind was blowing, but oddly, I didn't feel the chill. "I'll give you a ride home," Maya said, pulling up beside me. Her fragrance, mixed with a scent that was uniquely hers, made me feel secure. When we got to my apartment, I offered, "If you don't want to leave, come in for a bit." Maya stood tall outside the car, her face obscured by shadows, but she eventually came in. She hadn't been to my place in years, and she was clearly a little hesitant. I hadn't taken anything from Chloe's divorce settlement. This place was something I bought myself. Maya had scolded me a few times over that, saying, "You were with her for 6 years, and it's like plucking a hair from a cow's back for her. It's not a big deal, but you didn't even take a little." She looked around the apartment and commented that the decor was outdated. "It just needs to keep out the weather," I said. "No need for fancy decor. I remember when sleeping under a bridge seemed good enough." She gave a little laugh. "True. People should be satisfied with what they have." She left after finishing her tea. I felt like she wanted to say more, but then I thought, we're good like this. There's no need to ask. Besides, over the years, she's become like a flower on a high peak, someone beautiful who deserved someone equally remarkable. I looked out the window, watching her lean against her car, smoking, then glancing up at my window. The night Chloe flamboyantly proposed to me, Maya had asked, "Liam, can you not marry her?" It was a good question, and truthfully, I could have chosen not to. But if I didn't marry Chloe, we'd owe her a debt we could never repay. I'm convinced that if I hadn't gone through with it, Chloe wouldn't have made things difficult for me. The first few years of our marriage, Chloe was very much in love. She was beautiful and rich. I couldn't find a reason not to marry her. So I told Maya, "Remember the drunk guy at the bar entrance who spoke to us?" Maya eventually accepted it, saying I married Chloe because I loved her. I echoed, "I married her because I loved her." Maya moved her hand forward as if to touch me, but then retreated to a safe distance. "All right, Liam. I wish you happiness." Her car eventually faded into the darkness. In the end, Maya never got together with Ethan. He made a fuss for half a year, and then knocked on my door in the middle of the night, pouring his grievances into my ear. I had no choice but to patiently console him. Dude, you're handsome, young, and wealthy. You were born into privilege. Why get so caught up over one woman? If she loves you, that's one thing. But she doesn't. Easy for you to say you're not the one hurting, he retorted. I knew she liked you all along. Don't think I didn't see you two acting in front of me. So I sat down on the ground with him. Did Maya ever tell you our story? He nodded, his eyes full of tears. Maya and I knew each other as kids, growing up in the poorest village, living off the charity of others. The villagers didn't want us. They chased us like stray dogs. When she was 10, Maya stole the village head's sweet potatoes for me and got caught. They tied her to a post, shaming her in front of everyone. I recalled the insults, as fresh as the day they were hurled. They called Maya a thief, predicted I'd be a vagrant, said we'd always be beggars, and cursed our parents for their early deaths. Bro, don't cry, I said, wiping my own eyes with my sleeve. It's fine. Crying's good for the skin. When we were 16, a thug broke into her room and started tearing at her clothes. I burst in and pushed him off her. I paused at this memory, and Ethan asked, "What happened after?" We ran away. We came to the city to survive. We slept on the streets, under bridges, collected scraps, searched dumpsters for food. We worked illegal jobs, handing out flyers, cleaning club toilets. We braved the summer heat on construction sites and sweated in brick factories during the winters. That's how we got by day. So when you say Maya is unfeeling, people like us, what use do we have for fleeting emotions? After that night, Ethan stopped moping over Maya. She wondered how, overnight, he seemed to just move on. Diana tagged me on social media, saying I owed Maya a movie and asking if we should finally collaborate. I replied that I was waiting for the right script. Something about the long-standing tension between Diana and Chloe had never allowed for Maya and me to cooperate on a project. But now, with age, they seemed less confrontational. Diana is 42 now and has been single since her boyfriend's suicide. You might have guessed it. Her boyfriend was Noah, Chloe's brother. That intense love story faded into time. Diana's been polished by life and now has a shrewd heart. In the entertainment industry, she's become a savvy and successful player. Back then, she was dismissed as a proud but penniless person, unable to match up to the super wealthy. But the two entertainment companies have been neck and neck for years without a clear winner. On Maya's birthday, I was busy shooting a commercial and wouldn't be finished until around midnight. Diana called me several times, telling me Maya was drunk and calling out my name. I got to the villa by 12:30. Seeing me, Diana left with the others. Standing at the entrance, a shadow jumped at me in the dim light. Maya found my lips. I had a cold, and my head was a bit dizzy. Her sudden move made me twist my ankle painfully. It brought tears to my eyes. Finding a gap, I slapped Maya across the face. She immediately sobered up, looking at me with a touch of grievance. Getting no gift is fine, but you don't have to hit people. Pretending to be drunk with me? Over the years, I've seen all sorts of antics. You think I'm the pushover I used to be? Maya didn't like it when I talked this way. She said it made me sound like a mob boss, putting on airs in front of a woman. She said a man who is only strong with women would only suffer for it in the end. Seeing me walk a little weakly, she went to support me and realized I might be sick. "You're burning up. Lie down and I'll get some fever medicine." I waved it off. "No, I'll be leaving soon. I'm afraid you'll take advantage." She found some medicine in a cabinet and handed it to me with water, watching me swallow it. "All right, Maya, happy birthday," I said. She stretched out her hand. "Where's the gift?" I had it already at my place. I came straight from the shoot and didn't have time to bring it. Maya knelt to massage my injured foot. Why do men's feet stink so much? I playfully nudged my foot toward her, and she held it firmly. No big deal. I don't mind. She was thorough with the massage. Suddenly she said, Liam, isn't it wasteful for us to have 2 big houses? We should live together and save some money. Even though we've earned a lot over the years, with lucrative investments, endorsements, and profits from films and shows, she still thought like this. Maya, over the years, have you secretly been with other guys? I asked. Her hand paused, not expecting such a direct question. Am I not stunning enough to need to find men? They are the ones who come to me. I tapped her on the head. She confessed, Liam, I think I might not be capable of that anymore. Surprised, I said, then you should hurry to a doctor. I did. The doctor said there's no cure. She gave up and handed me a pair of men's pajamas she got from her bedroom. Just stay here tonight. I almost asked where they were from, but then I realized they were mine. She stood straight in front of me, and I couldn't help but gaze at her. Inwardly, I lamented. Such a perfect body, what a shame. She caught my thoughts from my odd look. Don't get the wrong idea. I just can't like other guys anymore. Pretending not to understand, I took a quick shower and crashed in the guest room. In the middle of the night, I woke to a rustling sound as Maya snuggled up beside me. Don't move, she whispered. I had a bad dream. Just let me hold you. Still weak from the fever, I had no strength to push her away. What kind of nightmare? I asked. I dreamed we didn't escape that night, and the thugs got you back. Must all your nightmares be about me? She started kissing me softly, from my neck to my earlobe. If you try anything funny, this is your anniversary. Content with a little win, she let it go. It was a quiet night, except for the throbbing in my swollen red ankle. At breakfast, I asked Maya, do you often have nightmares? Sometimes. You had a fever again last night. I gave you more medicine. Thanks, I said. Getting older, staying up late isn't good for your health. Like last night, with no one to care for you, you might not have made it. Life has its struggles, no worries. Are you moving in with me, or should I move in with you? Maya, we had an agreement. Smart ones don't fall in love. Fools are willingly caught. So, to you, it's foolish to fall for someone? The words sounded cliché, but my eyes welled up. We looked at each other sincerely. Maya, we're not right for each other. Why? I was married once. You haven't been. I've waited for you to get a divorce since the day you got married. I would give it all up for you. Giving it all up? Is that for real? Go back to your 20s? Chloe told me I could be with anyone but you. Do you get what she means? I will donate my cash, leave the spotlight, even become a beggar again, she declared. I slammed the table and stood up. Are you crazy? You want to be a beggar? Do you even qualify to be one anymore? Are you really Maya? Who are you? Maya's eyes flickered with a shimmering light, her beautiful face looking a bit dazed. No, I am Maya. You're not. I am, she repeated. You're not, I shouted. If I'm not Maya, then who am I? You're Lily. She slumped back into the chair as if struck by lightning. That name was like a curse for us. It ruined anyone who touched it. I had told Ethan that when I was 16, a punk broke into Maya's room and I saved her. The reality was that I hadn't been strong enough. It was Lily who fought him off, stabbing him with a pair of scissors. Rumor had it that the punk didn't die immediately and accused Lily of attacking him. In those days of poor communication, the local government relied on wanted posters and sketches that weren't very accurate. Over the years, Lily had transformed into the glamorous Maya, her features long since changed. Only Chloe knew about it, since Maya's new identity was something she had arranged through her connections. With an injured ankle and no recent gigs, staying home was the perfect opportunity for recovery. Maya came every day to cook for me, left afterward, and returned the next day. It became a routine. One day, the doorbell rang. I hopped on one foot to the door, happy to open it, a smile on my face. But it was Chloe. "You seem a bit disappointed to see me," she said, her eyes falling to my foot. "I heard you got injured, so I came to check on you." "Thanks. It's not too serious, just twisted it," I replied, wondering how she knew when I hadn't even told my own assistant. She stood by the floor-to-ceiling windows, gazing at the river view. "I heard you're getting married. Congrats," I said. Her fiancé couldn't possibly be Leo. Chloe wouldn't have the patience to cultivate another man. Her family had given her one chance to marry an actor and wouldn't give her a second. So her fiancé was Julian, a rich kid, handsome, with a good family background. They matched perfectly. "Are you living with Maya?" Her voice was cold, hinting at discontent. "Chloe, if I were with Maya, what would you do?" She turned, a sudden sadness in her eyes, but she quickly suppressed it. "I won't do much, Liam, just a little jealous. You know how women get." She hugged me from behind, her chin nuzzling my neck. "What cologne are you wearing? It smells good." Just then, we heard the sound of keys turning in the lock. The door swung open. Chloe turned her head slowly and saw Maya standing there with groceries in hand, looking utterly shocked. At 10 that night, Maya returned. It was raining outside, and she was soaked completely. I went to the bathroom to run a bath and grabbed her a towel. She followed me in and suddenly hugged me from behind. Then, she started to kiss me. Water from the bathtub overflowed, a warm liquid pooling on the floor, filling the room with mist. In that fog, her eyes were bright, like a beast waiting to pounce. She clumsily unbuttoned her shirt, her breathing a little unstable. "I love you," she said. "It's okay if we don't get married. You can do whatever you want, just let me stay with you." It was a night filled with passion and entanglement. Afterward, Maya traced the contours of my face with affection, a stillness in her eyes. Before I was 20, I had you every day. After 20, being together became a luxury. Do you think people are never satisfied? When they're hungry, they want to eat. After food, they want fame and fortune. After gaining both, they crave love. After circling back, they realize it was the simpler things that moved them the most. Feeling tired, I replied, "That's why you shouldn't eat too much." She smiled softly. "There's some truth in that." The next day, Maya wasn't there. She had left a note. "I'm going to find Diana. If it doesn't work out, I'll turn myself in." Outside, it was still pouring rain. I turned on the TV and every channel was covering Chloe's wedding news. Maya had left breakfast warming in the kitchen steamer. I took it out and ate slowly. I remembered when Maya was working construction. We rented a simple house nearby. She would bring me a bouquet of wildflowers every time she returned, and I would place them in a makeshift vase made from a water bottle. Our table was by a window, and we would eat buns with pickles. On rainy days, you could smell the blend of earth and fresh grass. I remembered it vividly because it felt so wonderful back then. Never would I have imagined that Maya and I would reach such heights in life. Maya was right. In this materialistic world, I really should reconnect with those simpler, purer things. I called Chloe. Her wedding should still be going on. "Chloe, happy wedding." Surprisingly, her tone had a hint of anticipation. "Thanks. But did you call just to say that?" "I'm going to ask Maya to marry me. Wish me luck." The line went silent for a moment before the call was disconnected. I heard later that Diana went to see Chloe. They apparently had a fight over something, but eventually made up. That afternoon, Maya returned. It had been raining for a week straight, but now the sun had finally come out. Her car was parked downstairs. She didn't rush upstairs. Instead, she looked up at me from below. She opened the trunk and took out a huge bouquet of flowers. The doorbell rang. I went to open it and was greeted by a sea of roses. Maya squeezed her head out from behind the massive bouquet. "Honey, I'm back." Epilogue, Chloe. My boy stood under the lights, surrounded like a prince. I had seen him at his most ragged, when he wore cheap t-shirts and faded jeans, his eyes looking at me with innocence and shyness. I had to admit, Liam back then was the most handsome boy I had ever seen. Even now, the polished star Liam doesn't quite measure up to that memory. He had a resemblance to my brother, which is why I initially took him under my wing. He was a quick learner and incredibly dedicated. Other people get frustrated after a few takes when filming, but not him. Even if he needed dozens of takes, he remained calm. I remember a scene where he had to get slapped. He wanted it to look real, so he actually took the hit directly. By the end, his cheek was red and swollen, yet he turned to me with a sweet smile. As he gained more popularity, I felt increasingly proud. I knew Maya always had a thing for Liam, but how could I let him go? He grew under my care, like my prized bloom that became famous overnight. In that tiny makeup room, I got him to myself. He was so obedient and well-behaved, I thought, maybe marrying him wouldn't be so bad. At our wedding, Maya couldn't hide her disappointment. She left halfway through. 4 years into the marriage, I realized the man I loved didn't love me back. But who did he love then? It had to be Maya. There couldn't be anyone else. This crushed my pride. I had poured my heart into him and ended up with nothing but an empty shell. I admit, I often acted out, sometimes crossing the line. There were moments I intentionally let paparazzi catch me in the act, but Liam was never jealous. He was so accepting it was almost unsettling. Behind his back, I went through periods of craziness and darkness, spiraling into breakdowns. Finally, I decided to give up. Liam quickly agreed to the divorce, even refusing any compensation. In that moment, I felt a pang of regret. It was like losing a cherished bloom that I had nurtured so carefully for so long. The rumors that blew up about Liam and Maya, I actually started them out of bitterness. I even considered taking them both down. But one day I saw Liam sitting by a flower bed, watching the sunset. His silhouette was thin, bathed in the orange light, and it reminded me of how I first saw him, like a timid deer in the woods. I had originally wanted to help him, not crush him to boost my own worth. That realization freed me. You don't have to own the flower to appreciate its beauty. As long as you remember it, it's yours forever. Diana barged into my office and slapped me. How did my brother end up with someone so fierce? It served her right that she was still single. After we fought, Diana silently helped me fix up the office. I admitted to her, I just pulled some strings to marry him. Liam was the only one I wronged just once. But that once was enough for a lifetime of regret. Seeing Maya flaunting her love for Liam made jealousy eat me alive. I had locked him in that dressing room and used his gratitude to my advantage to claim him, a decision I regretted for years. I could have won him over rightfully, but I ruined it. Sometimes I wonder, if I hadn't done that, would Liam have fallen for me? Diana brought up Maya's past troubles, thinking I would use them against her. I gave a bitter laugh, feeling a stab in my heart. I wasn't that kind of person, but it hurt to know Liam thought I might be. I had done my homework back then. The guy wasn't even dead. The local authorities never found Lily, and the thug, being the initial criminal, didn't dare pursue it. Diana lit a cigarette, probably thinking about her own past, which is why she had wanted to hit me. After a long pause, She joked about what it would be like if my brother were still around and she'd be my sister-in-law. "You wish," I said. "Don't be the meddler you used to be. Diana, you bad-mouthed me to him, which drove him to despair. It turns out she knew all along. My brother was good-looking and innocent, and I feared Diana's intentions. So I told him she was seeing other people, and even faked photos to support my lie. My brother, confined at home by our parents, couldn't stand it and tried to end his life. Diana finished her smoke, got up, and said, 'Stop wasting tears and focus on doing good deeds. You'll be blessed for it.' Before leaving, I asked if she hated me. She paused but said nothing, just walked out the door. I owe my brother a life partner, and I owe Diana one too. If not for my petty lie, my brother wouldn't have died, and Diana wouldn't be alone now. How did I end up impacting so many lives? I married Julian. I don't love him much, but I don't dislike him either. At the wedding, I stared at my dazzling white gown and felt a strange sense of loss. I needed to stay sharp, lest I accidentally call out Liam's name. That would really make a fool out of me. I felt so empty inside, like I'd lost a priceless treasure. When Liam called, I was over the moon. I thought to myself, if he says he misses me, if he says I shouldn't marry someone else, I'll drop everything to see him. Unfortunately, he said, "Chloe, happy wedding. I'm getting married to Maya. Wish me well, too." I was overwhelmed with emotions and quietly hung up the phone. I guess I had really lost him for good.